comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, long, long winter. Little darling,
I think actually we are 2 o'clock exactly. Can you hear, guys, the music? I see all of you appearing over there. Antonio, Ronnie, everybody.
Here comes the sun, and I say, it's alright.
That's what I'm saying every day. This is Giada Valenti live from Las Vegas, 2 p.m. Here for us, of course 5 p.m. for you guys on the East Coast, ora 23 per voi che ci guardate dall'Europa, dall'Italia, ore 22 credo per te Antonio Argentieri a Dublino, right? And of course we have every day also people from Australia. And I know that for people in Australia, hello, Australia people, it's early in the morning. And my question was, I also every day people from Ontario, from Quebec, from Canada. What time is in Canada? I have no idea. So if some of you is from Canada, what time is it actually that you see me live every time? What else? Ragazzi, vedo tanti di voi dall'Italia, ben arrivati. Vedo Richard Hunger from Liverpool. Liverpool is in the house. And as always, what time is it where you're watching from and how are you doing? We've been doing this for more than a month. Can you believe it? Self-quarantine and Giada Lives for more than a month. And you've been with me every day, actually growing up every day. Thank you, Antonio, for making the group growing every day. I see also Andrea from Portogruaro. Ciao, Andrea, come va la vita a Venezia? I see family, friends, my mom and dad. Ciao, mamma, ciao, papa. They are appearing every day. And cousins and family members. And I like also the fact that a lot of you guys also there on Instagram every time connect with each other, because I ask you, where are you from? And you have found out that there are some people watching from your own city that you didn't know. I know you, Doug, found Antonio in Ireland, and Doug is always traveling the world. So I'm sure when this is over, we're all going to be traveling around and we're going to have friends all over the world. Today is a special day, you know. I don't brag much about my guests, but today I have somebody join me that I really, really think is one of the most talented person I know. And yesterday you enjoyed very much Jen. I promise you that she was an amazing magician. You guys brought me so many amazing messages about. Even my mom and dad this morning, they saw that when Jen made appear and reappear the Baci di Dama that she made. I don't know how she does, the cards tricks that she did. And today I have a guest that is just like Jen, an handsome gentleman, super talented. Many of you, of course, that may already know him because he's been even though he's very young, he's been in this business for a while. But if you have never heard of my guest, he's Tony DeSare. You're gonna love him. It's as I said, a very talented piano player, singer, songwriter, an amazing human being, father, and husband. I don't ask him how he juggles the success and business and the traveling normally with the things in his life and being a family member. That said, today I also want to start by saying happy birthday to someone very special to me and to the world. It's the birthday of Simon Napier Bell in England. You know, you see every time I have here on the back, you see this picture. Many of you ask me all this picture. Of course, you know all the story. This is Pino Donaggio, is my dear friend from Venice that wrote the song You Don't Have to Say You Love Me. And I don't know if I ever told you the story, but Pino wrote the song when he was a young kid in Venice. He was 18 years old. He performed the song Io che non vivo senza te at the Italian Song Festival di Sanremo in Italy. And nothing happened, he thought. He didn't even won the festival. He went back home in Venice, and a couple of months later, he received an incredible check with an incredible amount of money, and he was like, what did happen? Actually, the night that Pino performed the song, there was in the audience Dusty Springfield. Dusty Springfield loved Io che non vivo senza te, went back to England and asked Simon Napier Bell to write English lyrics. So that's the story, but we all know the song You Don't Have to Say You Love Me. But a couple of years back when I was talking to Pino Donaggio, actually in Venice, when I was with him in Venice, he told me that he had never met Simon Napier Bell. So they knew of each other, but they never met. Today is the birthday of Simon, and I must say that it's been my great pleasure that I was able to introduce the two of them, to put them in contact. So, and that happened, I think, 50 years after the song was written. Is that amazing or what? So, happy birthday, Simon. I know you're watching from London, and thank you for that beautiful song. So, before I introduce my guest, I am going to sing for you the song. So, Simon, this is for you. You wrote it with Pino. So, ho pensato che oggi cantiamo la canzone che Simon Bell e Pino Donaggio hanno scritto insieme. And then I'm going to introduce you my amazing guest. That actually, I met him in New York, but I don't think he's in New York anymore. So, in a second, we're going to figure it out. We're going to sound check this microphone. Hello, guys. Where are you watching from? I see a lot of you new people in. If you're there for the first time, welcome. Benvenuti. JJ, how's the sound of the microphone? Perfect. So, for you, Simon Bell, you're watching from London. Thank you for this song and happy birthday to you. And also from Pino, of course. I will send in the video so Pino can see it too. Let's see if we can get some music, It sounds like it's a program, but JJ is working on the mixer. By the way, thank you, Doug, for the mixer. I see Doug from Sacramento join in. And now there is some delay with the music. Now I think JJ said we are right to go. Happy birthday, Simon Napier Bell, and thank you for this beautiful song. Siamo qui, noi soli, come ogni sera, ma tu sei più triste ed io lo so perché. Forse tu vuoi dirmi che non sei felice, che io sto cambiando e tu mi vuoi lasciare, ma io che non vivo più di un'ora senza te, come posso stare una vita senza te? Sei mio, mai niente lo sai, separarci al mondo potrà. For you, Simon, when you said I needed you, you said you would always stay. It wasn't me who changed but you, and now you're gone away. But you don't have to say you love me, just be close at hand. You don't have to stay forever, I will understand. Believe me, oh, you don't have to say you love me, just be close at hand. You don't have to stay forever, I will understand. Believe me, believe me, oh, you don't have to say you love me. Happy birthday, Simon Napier Bell. Thank you for the lyrics of this beautiful song that you wrote together with Pino Donaggio here on my back. Here was actually you guys were asking, where was this picture? Some of you, I think, are asking. This was in New York when I did a concert in New York City, and Pino came to visit, because many of you don't know, but Pino Donaggio, even though he has a studio and he still lives in Venice, he comes to New York at least 3 times a year. He loves to write music. And after writing this beautiful song, he wrote many songs, of course, of the Italian songbook, but he became a very accomplished song writer for scores for movies. Almost all the movie of Brian De Palma were done by Pino Donaggio, and actually a lot of television series and stuff like that. So he left a little bit the songwriting of songs, but he went into the movie, and he still does now. Actually, he's working on a new movie with Brian De Palma. I have to speak with Pino. Maybe I can invite Pino to join us one day. Maybe you, Simon, too, would like to join us one day. I know Simon is doing very well in London. And guys, now I see a lot of you appearing over there. Are you guys ready? Jimmy Bertucci from Los Angeles is there. A lot of people from LA. I see Chicago people. Marilyn, where are you watching from? Linda. So I'm going to invite you, my amazing guest. He's already there. I can see his handsome face. You're gonna love him. You're gonna love everything about him. His talent, his personality. Let's see. Tony DeSare is in the house. Tony.
Hi there. Hey, Giada.
Hey there.
That was beautiful. I love that song.
Oh,
You
thank
sang.
you.
And by the way, you're talking about Simon. I just happen to have right here Simon's book that he gave me a couple years ago.
So you made him too.
Yeah, he did a documentary about Frank Sinatra and interviewed me. And at the end of the interview, he gave me this wonderful book, which I read. It's about the music business. And thought it was so cool you were talking about it.
Yeah, no, happy birthday to Simon. So I
Happy
texted
birthday.
before. I said that we were going live. So I didn't know you know him. I should have mentioned you.
Oh, no, I was a complete surprise to me, too, that you were talking about it. So, hi, Simon.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Hey, Simon, happy birthday. Yeah, it's funny because when I was, I mean, it's an iconic sound. So when I was talking to Pino years back, I thought the two men must have met once. They never had the opportunity to know where. I mean, Pino knew he was in London, but Pino never went to London. So
Yeah.
it's nice that I was able to introduce him. So Tony, how are you doing, and where are you? I said that you were in New York, but you're not in New York anymore.
No, not 2 years ago. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, the northern suburbs of Atlanta. And because I'm just always on the road all the time, and I just was tired of winter, was tired of the cost of living, and wanted to spread out. And I've got a 6.5-year-old son now, and wanted him to grow up in kind of wide open spaces. And so we moved, and it's been wonderful. And I've got this, was able to turn the bottom floor of the house into my studio, and got the studio that I always dreamed of, when I was a kid. And yeah, I mean, and there's definitely worse places to be quarantined than our house right now. So we're doing okay. I mean, obviously concerned about everything going on, but happy to see you and
happy to
hear
see you. Yeah, and I mean, I guys, if you are on social media, Tony appears every day, and he does already. For how many days are you doing a quarantine song every day?
Today was song number 37.
37.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I think we're going to be in this kind of quarantine situation for a long while. I know we have been friends for a long time, but I never asked you, how did you fell in love with music? When did you start? Because you're an amazing singer and songwriter and musician. So when this passion came to you, as a child? And
Well, I always loved music. My dad would come home from work every day. He played guitar, not for he never did it for a living, but he'd come home from work. He'd get home about 5:15, and we'd have dinner, and then he'd play guitar, and he would play James Taylor and the Beatles and Kenny Rogers and Neil Diamond, and he would he'd learn the songs from the recording, and then he'd play them over and over again, and I loved those. And then I fell in love with the piano. We didn't have a piano in the house, but anytime I saw somebody playing piano, even as a little kid, I was completely fascinated. And I begged my parents for a piano, and they got me a little Casio keyboard, with a little bossa nova button on it. So it'd be like, and that's how I started to play. And then I got exposed to Scott Joplin. I don't even know how I kind of became aware, but I just really had to play. That was the first thing I learned on piano.
Oh, wow.
And then the next year I got obsessed with Rhapsody in Blue, and I just wouldn't quit till I learned it, to the best of my ability. Now I have the privilege of playing Rhapsody in Blue with orchestras all over the country. So it's that's how it started. And then I started singing. I got into jazz piano, and I started singing maybe when I was about 15. And then by the time I was 18, I was out in my hometown of upstate New York, playing in hotels and bars. And then I moved to New York City after I went to Ithaca College and started from scratch there. And my first job was at the Marriott Marquis,
Oh,
Times
wow.
Square, playing the revolving lounge. So there was like the audience constantly revolved around. I was there 5 nights a week. Then I did an off-Broadway show called Our Sinatra. And after that, I just started to work around town, which is after that period was around the time that I met you, when I was working
Yes.
with Billy Terrell and playing at the Friars Club and Jilly's. Oh yeah, there we go.
Look at that with Joe Piscopo. Remember? That's
Yeah.
ages ago. Look how dark one was in Atlantic City. Do you remember, Tony?
Yeah, I do. That must have been like around what, 2004 or 3
I
or
moved here in 2005, so must have been
okay.
2006, something like that.
Okay.
Something around the time. And I
Yeah, wow,
remember at the
that's
time you were already starting to be like a superstar. Do you remember? And I didn't know anybody. And I picked up all your musicians. I remember Brian
yeah,
Zach on drums, and then I
right.
had Mike on
Mike
bass.
Lee, right?
Mike Lee on bass. And then I remember I had this stupid gig somewhere in Long Island and I couldn't find a piano player. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Tony DeSare was already, you had a record contract, you were already on your way up, and I couldn't find anybody. And so I remember calling you. I said, "Thank you for all the musicians. I can't find a piano player." You said, "Do you want me to play?" I was like,
Yeah, I
"You
did.
remember?" We did.
Was it like at a Neiman Marcus or something? Or?
Yes, it was in
Yeah,
Neiman
okay.
Marcus, the opening of
Yeah.
Neiman Marcus, and I was like, "Wow, that's where." I mean, you scored point with me. I was like, "This guy is the real deal. It's nice." You really love music, right, Tony?
I do,
That's your
yeah.
passion, right?
Yeah, it has been for a long time, and I've been doing it professionally for over 20 years, and it's always a challenge. There's always something about it that especially when you're in performance and singing and playing a song, it's never easy. It can be very fun, but it always takes your full attention, always takes full concentration, and I like that about it. And the other thing about doing this is there's just so many aspects to never get bored. I mean,
Yeah.
over the years I've learned audio engineering, so now I record and engineer most of my own recordings. I shoot my own video, I edit my own video. I maintain, I build my own computer for my studio. Like there's all these things, all the things that I loved when I was 12 years old, which was like, computers and science and music and, all that stuff. Now I get in film. I get to do that as part of my life. I score films now. I've scored 3 films. My third film comes out on Lifetime Movie Network, May 29th. It's a stalker movie on Lifetime. So
That's all new to me.
yeah, I got into that a few years ago. I did a Hallmark Christmas movie and 2 Lifetime movies.
That's fantastic. I have, so you already answered one of my questions. So music, piano came first, and then singing came second. And you mentioned that you were on a off Broadway show, Our Sinatras. Is Frank Sinatra, of who else has inspired you as a singer? Let's say at this point, Sinatra,
Well,
or do you have
yeah.
other idols?
I mean, any great singer, I think I've learned things from, and I mean, Frank Sinatra is a big one because we share kind of a similar vocal range. So anything that it's easier to kind of learn from somebody that kind of can do the same things you can do vocally. I'm sure you can relate to that. And but I also love Billy Joel and Elton John, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Randy Newman. Gosh, there's so many great singers. Donny Hathaway. And today, singers like I love Jacob Collier, even though he's got an interesting, different voice. It's very unique and it's very appealing. So there's, I'm always fascinated with voices, and I do some impressions too. Like the impressions that I do are voices that I like Michael McDonald and Neil Diamond.
I saw that.
Radiohead.
You had a nice, I think it was around the holidays that you had like one song done by all those amazing singers.
Yeah, I've got this thing that I do at holiday pop shows. I do with orchestras where I just do something at the piano. I do 20 versions of Jingle Bells.
That was it. I thought it was very interesting. You guys, if you're not familiar with Tony DeSare, you have to go. Your website is tonydesare.com, right? That's
right.
easy.
Right.
And on social media, you are Tony DeSare, so they will know how to find you. Tony, do you remember? I mean, you're just like me. We're seeing all these beautiful songs that have been written by other songwriters, but you're a songwriter too, and a pretty good one. Do you remember when you started to write? When did you write the first song, and why? Inspired by what?
Well, I was really getting into jazz standards, and I just loved the song form of that great American standard, which is, and I grew up on pop music, which I love too, like the 70s, 80s, 90s pop. I love that too. But something about the song structure of those songs from the 20s, 30s, 40s, of the AABA, where you can really tell a story. So the first song I tried to write, I remember I was 17 and I was sitting in my, by my piano. I didn't even have a real piano at that point. I had a keyboard, and I just was thinking to myself, I want to write a song. So I was like, okay, let me write a song. So I wrote the song. It's like, say you need me, say you care, your love please do declare. Come on, it's true that I always will love you. When you're down and if you're sad and you feel like going mad, I will be there for you. Need me, 'cause I need you. That's a little bit of it. So that was my first song. That's the first song I wrote.
Wow. 17 years old. Talking of which, I mean, you have now, we don't say, my mom said, not say the name of the little boy, because we shouldn't say name of little children. So people, because you're kind of famous. So when he walks outside, nobody knows. So your little boy is now 6.5. You said, how old is he?
Yes, he's, he'll be 7 in September.
He's adorable. I mean, sometimes you put it in front of the camera and I just love it. Does he have any musical talent? Can you something?
Well, it's hard to tell. He hasn't shown tons of interest, but sometimes he'll just randomly start singing and sing something like and hit all the pitches, right? Just right. But it's hard to get him to want to, he doesn't like me to play piano. He wants me to pay attention to him. So, but the first time he was in a video, he just walked down the stairs while I was recording, and I just called him up. And then a few days ago, he wanted to be in the video. So is that all right?
I saw him. He was frozen for a second, and he said, "Come on, say something." He was so good. Hey, but hey, he may wake up all of a sudden and be like, "Daddy, I want to be a musician." What would you say? Would you recommend? Would you support him? Would you encourage him to be in our line of business?
I would encourage him to do, whatever he, I pursued it because that's what I became passionate about, and I became really into it. I'm sensitive. I want him to have a music education, but I don't want him to feel like I'm pushing him in that direction, or that I'd be disappointed if he didn't play. So I'm just kind of letting him be him and see what he's drawn to. He loves math. He loves like reading, and I don't know, his skill set seems a little different to me than mine, which is fine. And maybe but when I was 6, I hadn't even started music yet. I mean, I started playing violin when I was 8, and then piano when I was 10. So, and I played violin all through school, by the way. I was concertmaster in my high school orchestra. And
my brother played violin. He's a drummer now, but he started with violin too. Now we are all at home. We're not traveling much. But when you travel, I mean, you're quite busy. You're always somewhere around the country, not only the United States, all over the world. How do you juggle about being a father and husband? I mean, it's tough, right?
I mean, in fact, just before this all happened, I mean, when we knew that the virus was out there and there was talk that things might close down, but I was leaving for a 3-week tour on March, I don't know, was it March 17th maybe, or something like that. So the night before I left, my son was really, really, sad. He was crying that I was going to be gone, and he wishes that he was like, why do you have to play music? Why can't you just stop? And so it is hard. I mean, it's hard to see him, when he was younger, he'd hold on to my leg, as I was leaving, and, it's hard, but, but on the other hand, when I'm home, I'm really home. So, there would be times where I'd be home for 2 weeks and I could just be home every day. I don't have to go to work every day. So, and now, I mean, it's like his dreams have come true. Both my wife and I are home all the time. So,
are you guys homeschooling him?
Oh yeah, we have to. Yep.
Yeah, that's
it's kindergarten, so it's not that challenging, but he's doing great.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. I mean, he's your son and your wife. She's pretty beautiful and smart herself. I have a question. You know that I mean, I said before, I love your original songs. There are so many that I love, but there is one that years back I said you have to change slightly the lyrics because I want to sing the song one day. Can you play it for us? I don't even have to tell the title. What inspired you to write that song? And I mean, for me, it's such a beautiful song, Tony. How I
Thank you.
would say I love you.
Well, I mean, actually, the origin of the song is a little bittersweet. So when I first met you, I was married to my first wife, who I got left in 2006. So I actually wrote that song when I kind of knew that it wasn't going to work out, because I knew that what it should be is not what it was, and that song was kind of about what it really should be. And it's had a great, it's the cool and ironic thing about that song is, of all the songs I've written, that song's been used in countless weddings. It's been, it's ceremonies. People have mounted it on their wall, for their wedding, and it came about as a relationship of mine was ending. But
Can you
it's
play
not
a little? Can you play a little bit for the people?
Sure.
I mean, I think it's
Sure.
such a beautiful song. Say also the title. It's such a beautiful
Yeah,
song.
it's called How I Will Say I Love You. Sing the blues, I'll listen intently. Call my name, I'll be at your door. Cry out loud, I'll hold you till it's over. And that's how I will say I love you. Fall asleep, I'll wake up beside you. Feel my heart beating next to yours. Lose your way, I promise I will find you. And that's how I will say I love you. What would I do to show my love to you? Leave my whole world for 1 minute with you. Break the rules, I'll bend them around you. Play the fool, I would never know. Break my heart, I'd still be glad I'd found you. And that's how I will say, I know I'll always stay. And that's how I will say, I love you.
Thank you, Tony. I really love this song. I didn't know that the story behind. So thank you for sharing that to me. But it's funny, you said it's for you. It was about the end of a love story. For all of us listeners, it's just like such a beautiful love song.
Well, and then then it became a song for me for a love story. Eventually, it's just not how it originally came about. But I think that's often the case with songs and how art comes about. It's sometimes in a way that's seemingly like a little counterintuitive.
Sometimes when I do the show and I sing some original song, I'm always say that I'm sure maybe you feel the same. That for us, that we write songs, normally we have those emotions. It's like going to a shrink. We get all the emotion into a song without thinking that at a certain point, maybe somebody's gonna like the song and they're gonna ask us the song again. And every time we have to sing that song, those emotions come back like right by a train. But we can do nothing but it's nice to get emotional, don't you think so?
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I think, I remember, writing that song and some other songs that I've written. I've got emotional while I was writing it. And that's to me, now that I've written, a lot of songs, and, and when you write songs, not, as not all of them are great, and but the ones that tend to connect to audiences are the ones that have like a true emotion behind it when I wrote it. So Yeah, I mean the ones that in that song I wrote in like 20 minutes. I mean, I still have songs I've been working on for 10 years.
That's awesome. I have a question. I mean, I never asked you, even though I know you for so long. I mean, Tony DeSare sounds Italian, but you're not. What is your heritage? Or are you
Well,
Italian?
yeah, right. So yeah, Italian mostly. So my dad's full Italian. My mom maiden name was Underwood, so that's not exactly Italian.
No.
But I had my 23andMe done, and I am about half Italian. So the name DeSare has obviously been shortened from whatever its original Italian was. I don't know. It could have been, I don't know, DeSario, or I don't know. Who knows?
We have to find out, though.
Yeah. Well, there's not much. My grandfather passed away when my dad was very young, and there wasn't a lot of connection with his family or his family in Italy. So I really don't know much, and nor does my dad know too much about that side of the family. So
Yeah.
I
And have you
yeah.
ever been to Italy? I mean, because
Well, yes. I've been to Rome. I've been to Sicily, but just pretty briefly. Yeah, I'd love to go back. I loved it when I was there.
yeah, because it was my question. Tony, I always ask my guests because you know me, I cook on Saturday, so I love one of my other things I love is. Do you cook? Do you like food? What is your connection with?
Well, yeah. I mean, I love to cook. There was a time when we were getting the purple carrot and the those things where they send you the meal and you make it. So there's a lot of meals under my belt with that. I mean, I'm not like a like a big time chef, but I can do all the basics and I enjoy it.
What is your best recipe? What is the Tony best recipe? If you have to, I mean, you're already married to a beautiful woman, but if you have to impress her again, what would you cook for her?
Well, there was a time when I really enjoyed making like for example, last night I made gnocchi.
Oh,
So
my favorite.
I made a gluten-free gnocchi, but I mean I didn't make it from scratch, but
It
I
doesn't
just
matter.
boiled it. But I don't know, like I enjoyed in the past like making soups, like a butternut squash, like a fall soup where you cut all the squash up and you blend it up and you just get all these flavors going in the soup. I like that sort of thing. Um,
Yeah,
but I
I mean,
haven't really, for years I lived in Manhattan where I never cooked anything. So
it's true.
I love that too.
Me too. I mean, I have friends that have amazing kitchens in Manhattan with old pans and pots. They don't even know. I knew more than them where they were. They never used them. So this is a Manhattan thing. Are you
Yeah.
missing New York at all? Because I live in Vegas and I don't miss New York. Do you miss New York?
I thought that I would, and there was a time when I was there that I thought I would never leave, and but it just a couple of things happened. I mean, my life changed a lot by getting married and having a child, and also New York changed a lot. So those two things happening, like just kind of, I really feel for my friends that are there going through because they've been hit
Yeah.
hard
Yeah.
by this, um, and I'm also very glad that I'm not there now. I mean,
Yeah.
being in a little apartment. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I'll always love New York, and I'll always feel like I'm a New Yorker. I mean, I'm from New York State. I was
Yeah.
born in like just the 150 miles up the river. So, but yeah, I don't miss it. Once in a while,
Yeah.
I went back to New York at Christmas time. I played with the New York Pops at Carnegie Hall, and it was really fun to be back. But it was cold. It was really, really cold.
I did the same. I did a concert at Carnegie in October. It was cold, and then I went back for Christmas at the Sheen Center. I thought it was cold,
Yeah,
but I miss my friends in New York. I like just like
yeah.
you, I have so many friends that I call like family. One more question. I mean, you perform also with so many people. Do you still have somebody that you would love to collaborate or sing with? I mean, somebody that is like living or not living. Somebody that you said, oh, if I only could perform with.
Well, sure, there's a lot. I mean, if we're going for the non-living too, then it would have been wonderful to meet or collaborate with any of the greats from that era. I mean, Sammy Davis Jr. or I mean, I did get a chance to work with Don Rickles, who's not a singer, but he's from that generation, and I worked with him on several shows, and just that the attitude of show business that those guys had, Don Rickles with, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, it's a certain thing that I really appreciated being a part of. And now, I mean, I think I always love the idea of collaborating, and, and I produce my own stuff, and I love producing other people. And maybe this time where I'm not constantly busy on the road will open up some avenues for that. But I've got a video coming out. Let's see, today's Wednesday, so I got it on Friday with Scott Bradley of Postmodern Jukebox. Postmodern Jukebox.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, we recorded a thing, a piano duet. So I had Yamaha brought in a piano, and we sat back to back and did this thing called the evolution of piano. So it starts all the way back in 1722 with Bach's Prelude and goes all the way through Adele and Coldplay. And it's like a 5-minute long thing with like 40 or 50 songs in it.
Oh, sweet.
So that was a collaboration that I enjoyed. And, I think collaboration is the key for all of us right now. I mean, this is collaboration right here.
Now I know that you're Italian. Now we have to do something English-Italian. You have to sing something in Italian, me in English, and you in Italian. I have to make you sing in Italian.
Yeah, I would love to. I'm more proficient in Spanish, but it's just close enough to Italian to be confusing to me. But I would love to.
Well, we have to write something, Tony. I write some lyrics, Italian lyrics on it. And then we have to do now. I always thought Tony DeSare was like French. For me, you were like French.
Yeah. People would think that, but I mean, it's just the wrong pronunciation of the name. It should be.
Now that I know you are Italian, that explains why I always liked you. They make fun of me that they say that I like only all things that are Italian. Now I know you are Italian. Okay. That's why I always loved you.
That's why we get along.
Probably that's why. And talking about, I mean, you're an amazing piano player, and you also have done, I think, lately something with Ted Firth, right? Did you guys do at the?
Oh yeah, well, Ted Firth and I grew up together. So I met Ted is part of the reason I wanted to play piano, because he would. In third grade, he would play in music class when the teacher would wheel her piano in a couple times a week. And Ted's parents were music teachers, and they would ask the music teacher to have Ted perform for the class. So Ted would, in third grade, like 7 years old or 8 years old. And I just thought that was great. And so yeah, Ted and I collaborated. My last album, which came out not too many months ago, it's called Lush Life, and it's Ted on piano and me singing, and we recorded the whole thing here at my house, and also recorded the whole thing on video. So we got all the video. So it's a video album and also a CD, and got a lot of play on jazz radio too. And yeah, Ted, there's nobody better than Ted for playing jazz standards like that. I mean.
One of my CD, I mean, half of the songs were produced by Ted. So sometimes when I do this live, I sing some of the song, and I'm always say that Ted is such an amazing piano player that I remember once I did a show in New York, and he got a review from a journalist who said that I sang a cappella the first time ever I saw your face. Ted was playing piano so perfectly that it was not in the way with one single note that the guy thought that I was by myself. I mean, Ted is amazing.
Yeah.
But so are you. I mean,
But part of me, I know what my strengths are. So for the album that we did together, I chose songs that I knew that I would not do as near as good a job as Ted would, playing. So songs like Lush Life, which are very complex, and I wanted to be able to focus on singing, and Ted just plays, he plays these chords that I don't even understand what they are. So
which says something about Ted, because you're pretty good musician. Last time I saw you was here in Vegas. We have a lot of people watching from Las Vegas, and here was with Frankie Moreno, and it was your show at the Smith Center, and you were phenomenal. I had not seen you in a long time, and I mean, it's always a joy. So I hope that you're coming back soon to Vegas. And I know we all had dates.
Well, I hope I'm coming back soon anywhere.
Exactly right. That's a good one. I hope I'm coming back soon anywhere. At this point,
even to the mall. I'd take everything right now.
Well, Tony, you are amazing. I mean, I never use the words just to use it. You're just, but you're. I always liked you. You're an amazing musician, singer, songwriter, and a human being. You're just Wonderful.
You
So
too.
I
Thank
want to
you.
thank you for spending time with me. You guys, I know I see a lot of people have probably questioned. If they are question, I tag you, Tony, so you can answer to them. And I want to thank you for being here with me today and cheering up people with your music and everything. Best of everything. And
Yeah, you too.
next
Thank you.
for us is going to be singing in Italian. Tony DeSare is Italian. Thank you, God. It's Italian. It's Italian.
I'm glad we got that straightened out after these years.
That's why I never bug you with anything because it's French. So, but now I know you are Italian. So, I want to thank you, Tony. And guys, Tony DeSare, you know where to find it. Otherwise, it's tonydesare.com. I think, JJ, yeah, you see the name is written over there. You guys on Instagram too. Sorry, I haven't figured it out, Tony, how to go live on all this on StreamYard and Instagram in the same way because there are feedback problems every time I do. So,
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, so far, I mean, I'm doing my first live stream concert on May 3rd. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. So yeah, it'll be on Zoom, but go to jazzvox.com, jazzvox.com. It's actually this guy who puts together house concerts in Seattle, which I've done a few times over the years. So what he's done, he's actually a voice teacher, and he contacts these jazz artists who are coming into town, and he books a house concert and gets like 25, 30 people, and they make dinner and it's fun. So he's like, well, now that I can't do that, I want to put together these Zoom concerts. So he called me about it, and yeah, we've got 100 slots, and there's about 30 left. So yeah, and so I do my daily video, but this will be my first live stream concert that I do.
And at what time would it be? May 3rd at what time, Tony?
May 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific.
Perfect. And I make sure that you give me the information so we share them, reminded everybody. I mean, I will be watching you guys. If you have never seen Tony live, as soon as this is over, wherever Tony is, take a plane, the boat, go with a bicycle. I mean, I don't know, just go and see Tony. And I really hope to get to see you again for real soon.
I'm sure we will. I mean, we will weather this storm, and I mean, it might not be this year, but hopefully in 21.
Exactly. And one day we're gonna do something together. Now that I know that you are Italian, I have to make the dream come true. I've Tony in Italian something.
Yeah.
Love you, man. Best of everything to your family and your wife and your little boy and your mom and dad. Stay safe. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Guys, I know you have a lot of questions. You love them. I mean, what's not to love about Tony DeSare? Now we know he's Italian. Yes, Danielle, she is Italian. So now we know. That will explain why, there's some comedian making fun of me saying, oh, yeah, she makes Italian, everything Italian. No, Tony is Italian. I didn't even know, I had Johnny Katz last week. Do you remember Johnny Katz? I was entertainment reporter, and he told me, I thought he was Greek. No, he's half Italian too. Then I remember telling to John, that's why I always loved you. So you see, so John, if you're watching, I know John is always watching. Tony DeSare is Italian too. There we go. Frankie Moreno, we had it on a picture. He's Italian too. I always thought he was Spanish, and now I know anything that is good is Italian. So guys, it was such a pleasure to have you here with me. I see Diane Fiorentino, a lot of you. I see new people. Where are you guys watching from? Richard, I know you're watching from Liverpool. So guys, where are you watching from? Let me know. And I'm going to see you tomorrow. Make sure to tune in every day to see Tony DeSare. He goes live every day with his quarantine sound. Is amazing. And May 3rd, I will make sure to remind you about this live concert. You don't want to miss that. He said that there were only 30 spots left. So here we go. I see a lot of people here. So 30 of us is going to be sold out in no time. He may have to do double gig. And what else can I say? Tomorrow, my guest will be directly from Rome. I'm going to have my dear friend Ginevra Antonini. She's a celebrity chef on the Italian television La Prova del Cuoco. She will be with us from Rome, connecting from Rome. She's an amazing girl. Ragazzi, voi in Italia la conoscete perché la vedete tutti i giorni sulla Rai 1 alla Prova del Cuoco. Domani la mia ospite sarà Ginevra Antonini in diretta da Roma. And what else? And then then Friday, nothing. Then Saturday we're gonna be cooking together. Saturday, by the way, you remember Monday I post a recipe because you guys asked me to the ingredients. Sorry, you asked me to put on Monday the ingredients for the recipe on Saturday, so you can buy the ingredients and cook with me. There it is. What we will be cooking is gonna be is a nice dish that I make often. Is pasta land and sea. Is basically tuna, tomatoes, parsley, and you can put ricotta cheese of creme fraiche, depending of or even no cream if you wanna stay light. It's still delicious. So Saturday we'll be making that, and then Sunday, there is always the concert, the Giada from Home with Love. I mean, I was so thrilled to have my guest with me, Tony DeSare. I see a lot of guys comments. Thank you for Tony again for being with me, guys. Can you believe it? It's already the time flew like that. So I want to thank you for being with me ogni giorno. Vi ringrazio per essere con me. I love you, as Diane Fiorentino told me to do. Let's stay connected. And I'm going to see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 2 p.m., 5 p.m. for you guys on the East Coast e ore 23 per voi dall'Italia. Grazie a tutti per essere stati qui con me. Grazie, un saluto, un abbraccio alla mia mamma e al mio papà. Big hello to my mom and dad. Love you, mamma and papa. And I'm going to leave you and I'm going to see you all tomorrow. Grazie e ci vediamo domani. Un abbraccio. Ciao.
Dankeschön, dear old Dankeschön. Thank you for seeing me again. Now I go, but I truly hope that I'll see you here sometime, same place. And until then, my heart just say, Dankeschön, dear old Dankeschön. Thank you for seeing me again. Though I'm here in my solitude, I know you are there, and in my heart I smile again. And so I sing here in my solitude, waiting to see you, same time, same place. And I can't wait to say again, Dankeschön, 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 dear old Auf Wiedersehen. See you tomorrow. A domani.